I'm going to summarize some of the nonsense around this Colin Kaepernick issue that's been blown way out of proportion. But I just want to let you know that this is really just a small summary of a large topic that I covered on my podcast. I also have a YouTube channel that's for my podcast. It's also on iTunes. So I have a video and audio podcast on iTunes. So if you'll click right about there, I think, somewhere up there, you'll see an option to where you can go to my YouTube channel for my podcast and see the full talk. That's about 42 minutes. All right? So let me dive in with your summary. Colin Kaepernick has been getting a lot of attention in the media lately, and in my opinion, it's for all the wrong reasons. He's a football player that used his position to turn it into a soapbox to become a social justice warrior or something. And, supposedly he didn't want to stand for a country that oppressed black people, and this is coming from a guy who gets paid millions of dollars every year for throwing a ball. Anyways, so I just want to point out that we're all being oppressed. It's not just black people that's being oppressed. Come on, Colin. You had it good growing up. It sounds like your family was very good. Your adopted white family, by the way, because your black father left you. And then you got into the NFL. You achieved what many kids aspire as kids. They're play sports. We all want to be in the professionals. You achieved it as a mixed person in a league where it's mostly black people, even though blacks are only 13% of the population. They're mostly most NFL players are black. And then you're saying that America oppresses black people. It makes no sense, okay? Also, a big part of it is basically the police brutality against blacks. I agree there is a problem with police brutality, but it's against whites and blacks. In fact, twice as many white people get shot every year than black people. So, white people could just as easily say, hey, they shoot twice as many white people as they shoot blacks. So if they were literally hunting down black people, targeting black people to shoot them, why would the death count for whites be higher than blacks? It makes no sense. So what they do is they use one misleading statistic and they say, like per 100,000 black people, blacks are 5 times as likely to get shot by police. And that's true. But what they leave out is that blacks are also 5, 6, or 7 times as likely to commit a violent crime such as murder. They're also at least 5 times as likely to kill a cop. So what you'll see is when you actually look at the numbers that there's a big correlation between crime, particularly violent crime, and police shootings. So it's because it's the blacks that are committing the crimes. It's because the blacks are the ones committing the murders. It's because the blacks are the ones that are killing the cops. That's why. And I hate taking up for cops because I really don't like cops. I hate them. I think they're out of control. I've got so much problems with the legal system, with cops. I mean, I've been harassed. I've been beat up on multiple occasions, and I'm white, okay? So I know firsthand what it's like. But if we just only open our eyes to the police brutality against blacks, that's not even half of it. Because again, most of it's white people. So we're covering our eyes to all the crimes against white people. And that's when the message gets distorted. And we can't have a real solution unless we correctly diagnose the problem. And honestly, Colin standing up only for black people is a racist move. Because if a white person were to only stand up for white people when it's blacks and whites that are getting shot, that would be racist. Okay, now I understand Colin and a lot of others are being manipulated by the media. We hear all this, these like fake news basically. It's just propaganda. Look, people need to realize that the media is just propaganda. Don't fall for it. They're trying to create a racial divide, and as long as we are arguing amongst each other, ourselves, we can't join together and fight the real problem, which is the government. So that's my advice to everyone. We are all equal. We need to be treated equally. And a white person would have been called a white supremacist, a racist, if they would have just stood up for white people. We've got to hold Colin to the same standard. If we want everyone to be treated equally, we need to treat everyone equally. It was a bonehead move of Colin, and Nike's endorsing him. This has just gotten way out of hand, you guys. Cops are out of hand against whites and blacks. We need to be clear on that. I'm Jeremy Kinney with the Awareness Revolution. Make sure to check out my other videos, not only on my channel, but the other videos that I've done on my podcast, where I go into much more depth with the statistics, the actual numbers, be with the white on white crime, black on black crime, and everything. All right? And make sure to like this video, share it, and subscribe, because I love new subscribers. I love you for watching until the end, and I would love to see you in the next video.